Jack Gould and his ex-wife Kristen Holmes had a bitter divorce. He says she got the minivan and he got the bill.
You folks were married when?
We were married in June of 1992, I believe.
That's incorrect, Jack.
When were you married?
August 8th, 1992.
No wonder you
by a couple of months.
No wonder you're divorced. When were you divorced?
The official divorce papers are dated March the 1st, 1995, and we separated in March of 1994.
Okay, now your lawsuit, if I understand it correctly, is about a minivan
That's true.
that the defendant got as a result of the divorce settlement?
That is true.
All right, so tell me about it, sir.
Well, when we were married, the defendant, my ex-wife, was extremely interested in leasing a minivan.
That's not true.
At the time, I did not feel that we could afford it, but she had her heart set on it, so I agreed. You know, marriages are made of compromise.
So you leased the van.
We leased the van.
For how long?
The van was leased on December 1st, 1992, and I believe it was a 2-year lease. I have a copy of the lease here.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
We separated in March of 1994 and I filed for divorce somewhere in that time. I don't know the exact date.
Who got custody of the minivan in March of '94?
The defendant.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Go.
Okay. After our bitter squabble over nickels and the divorce agreement, we signed, the judgment here, and there's a specific provision that deals with the minivan in the divorce settlement.
Which says what, sir?
Which says that the defendant takes sole use, custody, and possession and control of the 1992 Ford Aerostar van, that she's ordered to pay for and maintain the present lease obligations of the van, and
Notice it says present.
And that it says that it's supposed to be transferred to her name only as soon as practical forthwith. The respondent is ordered to indemnify and hold the petitioner, who is myself, harmless and render him a defense from any obligation arising from or in connection with the use of the van.
Okay, so she got the van, and she was supposed to take care of all the expenses on the van.
That's right.
That's it.
I tried to call them, they disconnected their number.
Unbeknownst to me, about October of 1994, she stopped making payments on the van.
She no longer lives there.
I found this out
I tried numerous times to get my stereo system back.
in May of this year when I was hit with the summons from the Ford Motor Credit Company.
$1,058
I
between
made
the
all the
stereo and
payments
the
but one.
speakers. You have a bill for that?
Yes.
May I have it, please?
They were suing the defendant and myself for $2,400. It says in those papers that she stopped making the payments, that they repossessed the van and sold it at a loss. I was totally in the dark about all of this.
Ms. Holmes, did they repossess the van?
Yes, they did.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I was hit with the summons. I mistakenly believed that the divorce agreement held me damageless from that.
Gossip always gets people into trouble, even innocent gossip, right? What's my favorite expression? Gossip is the handmaiden of idle minds. You know what that means? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Period. End of discussion. You've been friends for a very long time, That's not an easy thing to come by, a friend that you've managed to maintain for 12 years. I don't know if you can ever be friends again. Be a shame if you couldn't be, because this wasn't a fight over a stereo system. This was a fight over being offended. I don't know what you did with the stereo. I don't think I got the whole story, Miss Ramos. Doesn't make any difference whether I got the whole story, Miss Ramos, or not. You borrowed the stereo, whether it broke, whether it broke on purpose or by accident, whether you threw away the speakers because these probably tremendous speakers couldn't fit in your apartment anymore. I have reservations about. You owe her $1,148 with tax. And the judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in that amount. Thank you very much.
Body judge, you to step out, please.